One of the most common tips that you are going to hear when visiting Animal Kingdom is to rope drop Pandora, specifically Flight of Passage. However, in the last video we did that and it didn't turn out so well.
After waiting almost 2 hours, we kind of called that a bust. So we are back in the evening. We are specifically getting here about 5:45, 6 o'clock to what we call reverse rope drop Pandora. And an extra bonus, we'll even get to stay for nighttime at Pandora, which is honestly one of our favorite things in all of Animal Kingdom. In case you're wondering what reverse rope drop is, it's exactly as it sounds. It's the opposite of rope drop. So rope drop is where you rush to a ride when it first opens. Reverse rope drop is the exact opposite. You can get in line for any attraction at Walt Disney World up until 1 minute before the park closes. With a little bit of an asterisk, some attractions do close early, for example, the Safari. So make sure you're checking the My Disney Experience app for the exact time of a specific attraction.
As we said earlier, we got here about 5:45, 6 o'clock, which the park closes at 8 o'clock tonight. So it's probably still a little bit earlier than what I want to get in line quite yet. So I think right now we're just gonna kind of soak in golden hour because this land is very, very beautiful at this time of day. And then I think my goal is we're gonna kind of watch the wait time, but I think we're gonna get in line probably about an hour before park close, depending on what the wait time says for Navi River Journey. And then we're going to do Flight of Passage, fingers crossed, as long as everything goes according to plan, right before park close. As of right now, it looked like Navi River Journey was about 55 minutes and Flight of Passage about 65, which honestly isn't that bad considering when we rope dropped, we did wait an hour and a half for Flight of Passage, and then we waited another 45 minutes for Navi River Journey. So hopefully today will be only maybe like an hour-ish of waiting.
You do run the risk, though, with reverse rope drop of potentially not being able to ride, specifically if a ride goes down. The likelihood of them bringing a show or a ride or something like that back online, if it were to go down in the last, especially after the park is closed, is pretty slim to none because the park is officially closed if you're in line. Do with that information what you will.
Now, obviously, if you're a guest and you're here all day, there are lots of things that you can be doing. You can explore other areas of the park. You can go get dinner at Satuli. We already ate dinner before we came. So, like I said, we are just wanting to soak in the vibes because this land is very beautiful. Personally, I think it's the prettiest at this golden hour time of day and at night, which hopefully we'll be able to show that to you too.
It is 6:26. Navi River says it's a 60-minute wait.
I think we're gonna go ahead and hop in line. Just that way we can really make sure that we're testing to see how long the line actually is.
Yep.
But that way, if it does end up being a little bit longer, we should still have time to hop in line for Flight of Passage.
I know that this is probably a given, but I think it's worth explaining. We want to have a big enough of window to be able to still ride Navi River, get off, get over to Flight of Passage, and get in line before the park closes at 8. So this might be a little bit early, but I would rather be too early and err on the side of caution than having to literally run to Flight of Passage.
I think you also have to take in consideration the crowds. So Run Disney is actually this weekend, so it is a little bit busier than I normally see this park, and it's a Sunday, so there's also a lot of locals. So you kind of have to gauge the crowd and just kind of eyeball wait times and that sort of thing too. So be flexible, have a plan. This is going to give you a good kind of guide, but you'll obviously kind of change the strategy depending on your situation. But with that, I think it's time for us to go get in line. Mark Allen is starting the timer now. The line does look pretty long. I do think that the line is going to be an hour.
I think it's going to be every minute of an hour. So the way that this queue works is there's almost an outside space, and then you kind of go over a little shaded area. So we aren't even in the covered area quite yet. So I think this is going to be every minute. of an hour. We recently did extended evening hours at Epcot, so if you missed that video, that will be linked in the description box below. But once we get later and later into the evening, there's going to be fewer and fewer people entering the lightning lane, which the lightning lane does slow the standby line down because they're having to merge all those guests with everyone in the standby line.
So hopefully as we get a little bit later in the line, it will hopefully move a little bit faster since there won't be as many people in the lightning lane. Friend. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you should just...
We've officially made it about halfway through the line. What's our time check? I don't have my watch today. I forgot to put it on.
31 minutes, 31 seconds.
So yeah, this will probably be about an hour wait. Like I said, we're about halfway. So luckily the line is moving pretty decently so far.
So this is the lightning lane right there where there's no people. And as suspected, the second half of this line is moving a lot faster because the lightning lane is pretty much empty. We are at 41 minutes and some change, and we are right at the lightning lane merge point.
I'm very pleased that my strategy is going to plan so far. So I think our wait's probably going to be about a 45-ish minute wait, which is what I was hoping for, which is great. Again, as the evening goes later, as we get closer and closer to park close, the lightning lane becomes more and more empty, which makes the regular line go much faster. So we're actually going to have quite a bit of time, I think, after this ride to kind of go explore Pandora a little bit before we go hop in line for Flight of Passage. We've made it off the ride. It is 7:23. Our wait was like 45 minutes exactly, which is honestly what I was hoping it would be. So that was perfect. Even with how like crazy this land was, I was a little nervous, but I think timing worked out perfectly.
Now it is officially nighttime in Pandora, and this land, if you've never done it at nighttime, put this on like your Disney World bucket list because this land comes alive at night and it is stunningly beautiful.
But just a heads up about Pandora at night is that because this park does close so early, usually it closes either 6, 7, or 8 most times of the year. In the summertime, it doesn't get light till much later. So if Pandora at night is something that you are wanting to prioritize, you're gonna wanna travel here during a time of year that it gets dark much earlier. So like right now, it gets dark around 7-ish, 6:37.
I would say a good rule of thumb, like calendar-wise, is like in the winter months when it's darker earlier, specifically like before daylight savings. What time is it, did you say?
It is 7:24.
Okay, so we definitely don't need to get in line for Flight of Passage quite yet. So I think we're gonna explore Pandora at night a little bit. Probably hit up the restroom one more time.
Should we get a little snack?
Olympia?
Yeah, a little one.
Okay.
We might have to get a snack.
Okay, a line snack.
Yeah. The crowds have already cleared out quite a bit. I would say it's probably at least half, if not less than what it was before we got in line for the ride. So this is really nice to be able to soak it in. I can't wait until after we ride Flight of Passage because it's gonna be even emptier. But I think we're gonna go peek in the gift shop for a few minutes.
Yes, and that is important to note because the gift shop will be closed by the time we get out of Flight of Passage. So if there's any like Pandora souvenirs, I would recommend purchasing them before you get in line.
I think this is the emptiest I've ever seen this gift shop. How do we feel? Oh my gosh, if I can get it on. How do we feel about this look instead of my bows? Is it a good one?
Yep.
He's a great man, he trust me.
I didn't know they made outfits for them. That's so fun. Is that one of the new ones?
I think so.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, look, they have different
Oh, that's so cool.
They have different outfits that you can get for them.
That's actually really cool.
That's super fun.
How much are those?
$20.
20?
Yeah,
I feel like that's...
sounds about right.
They have like a lot of different ones.
Considering the Banshee itself is like $90.
Yeah, the Banshee is $89.99, and then the costumes are $20.
That's cool.
A gear pack, a Banshee gear pack.
It's a costume. And with that, it is 7:48, so I think it's time to start making our way over to Flight of Passage. Should we try and wait and get in line like 1 minute before? Oh, we have to get our lumpia. Okay, hold on. We gotta go see how long that line is.
It didn't look very long.
Okay, let's go get our lumpia, and then we're gonna go run and get in line. We got our line snack. We have exactly 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and line. Mark Allen is starting his timer now.
Let's do this. And just like that, we're already inside. No one in here.
Is this gonna be a walk-on? I don't know.
Time update. It's been 4 minutes and we're already in this room.
And how much walking was it?
Basically 7 minutes.
Of walking?
Yeah,
Cool.
give or take. Keep in mind that Lightning Lane stops in 2 minutes, so there shouldn't really be anyone in the Lightning Lane. So I think this standby line will like continually go pretty darn quick.
All right, friends, we've made it into the laboratory. Mark Allen, what's our time?
13 minutes.
Woo! Not too bad.
I didn't capture it on camera, but if you watch these screens long enough, I saw a picture of Joe Rohde on here. If it happens again, I'll try to see if I can catch it. But keep your eyes peeled for a Joe Rohde Easter egg.
We have made it into like the sorting room, as I like to call it. What's our time?
19 minutes.
Wow, I think that's like the fastest we've done this before.
I think so. It's definitely one of them. And the fact that like we didn't have a lightning lane.
And this was a posted 40-minute wait. Make sure you pay attention when you're in this room, because they do have to fill like a certain amount of people in the link chambers or in the pre-shows. So if they call out like party of 2 or party of 4, make sure you raise your hand and pay attention, because sometimes you might get to skip the line even just a little bit more. Thank you.
Soon, you're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, riding on the back of a Banshee by being genetically matched and linked to an avatar, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative. And we're here in the Valley of Moara studying Banshees and their environment. One way to understand what's going on with an ecosystem is to study what are called keystone species. These are animals like tigers, jaguars, seals. The Banshee is one of these important animals. Unfortunately, Banshees live high in rookeries and humans can't get anywhere near them without becoming their lunch. Thanks to science, avatars can ride on Banshees too. That's why you're linking to an avatar. Pandora is a breathtaking natural world. I cannot wait for you guys to see it for yourselves. Okay, to get you flying on a Banshee, we need to find each of you an avatar. Let's prep the genetic sampling.
I'm on it.
Okay, first we need to find the compatible match of your genetic material with the genetic material of one of the avatar bodies that we already have. Once we do that, you'll be able to link to that avatar and fly.
All right, are we ready to fly?
It is 8:33 and we are officially off the ride. So our total wait time was like what? 20?
I filmed it. It was
20-ish minutes?
Yeah. Well, I forget exactly. But I filmed it like right before we were going into the first link chamber.
Basically half of what the posted wait time. I will say that I have done this strategy several times and I have not waited more than like 30 minutes and it was pretty busy tonight. So I would say this is a very, very good strategy. Don't let the wait times, like the posted wait times, scare you. They always have them kind of more on the higher end towards the end of the night. But in my experience, it's usually never as long as it says it will be. But now the park is officially closed. I do have a few more tips that we want to share before we end this video, so make sure you stay tuned. But let's go enjoy a little bit of empty nighttime Pandora. Do I glow? My socks glow.
I even wore my white shoes thinking that they would glow. They don't.
Pro tip number 1. This is an excellent strategy if you don't want to have a super long wait. However, like I mentioned several times in this video, there is a little bit of risk involved. So if this attraction is an absolute must-do for you, I would recommend purchasing either the Lightning Lane single pass or riding this attraction earlier in the day. Pro tip number 2, remember rider swap is not available after the park closes, so I would do this strategy in reverse if you do have littler ones that you want to be able to do both of these attractions. And pro tip number 3, make sure you take a little bit of extra time wandering out of the park because as you can see, it is absolutely empty right now. And this is the best way to experience Pandora.
My pro tips for doing this strategy. Pro tip number 1, yes, enjoy the land as much as you want at night, but still be respectful because cast members want to go home too. Pro tip number 2 is that keep in mind that bus transportation only runs for an hour and a half typically after park close. If you are a resort guest and taking a bus back to your resort hotel, skedaddle on out of here, get in line for that bus. Pro tip number 3, make sure you check out the beautiful projections on the Tree of Life at night.
Make sure you subscribe for more fun content.
And let us know what you want us to rope drop or reverse rope drop next.
That's all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after.